Hello, my name is Lorenzo, and I'm here with Rino. Hi, Rino.
Hello everyone.
We are here to show you what's new in QueueMetrics 26, so the new version that was released a few days ago. Rino was the lead developer for this new version, so he's the guy who actually knows how it's supposed to work. And so let's get started and go through a few of the changes that were actually important in this release. I'm going to say two things. The first is that we have about 200 changes in this new version. So of course, we're going just to show you some of the ones that we think are more important. For a more detailed view of everything that went into the new release, have a look at the release notes that are published on our website. The second thing is that this is live, so if you want to ask questions or just want to say hi or whatnot, we are monitoring the chat, so feel free to ask, and we try to answer them when possible by the end of each chapter. So this said, let's move forward and have a look of what actually is new. The first thing that is important is that we made a number of changes to the wallboard because the wallboard is now the heart of QueueMetrics, meaning that it can do. It will not just act as a wallboard, but it will basically replace totally the old real-time page, and anything in between. So you can create it, set it up as you want, depending on the task you want to do. One thing that was missing from earlier versions of the wallboard was that there was no way to filter data on a specific wallboard. So you just had to select a set of queues, and that was basically it. All the data was pertaining to this specific set of queues. But now this has changed. So let's have a look at the new wallboard, Rino.
Yes, one of the most requested features in the wallboard was to filter the data you want to see. For this reason, we added 3 levels of filters. We have the wallboard report filters that apply to the complete wallboard. Then we have the view filter, and then we have the widget filter. Okay. This means that you can add a filter for the wallboard to set, for example, a more granular filter that you want to see in all the views. Then you can add a view filter that, in this case, I used to add an agent group filters for both one of my view and the second view. So I can see in the first one the support agent group, and in the second one the sales group. And also for the last one, we have the widget filter. For example, we have 2 widgets that show the lost calls, but for some reason we want to see really only the lost call with a minimum wait time. For this, with a new filter, you can simply add a min wait time filter of 16, and now you will only see the calls where the minimum wait time is of 16 seconds.
As you can imagine, given this the opportunity to add custom filters on widget means that the functionality of filters can be strongly extended, meaning that once you just it was lost calls, but for example now you can go look for some specific kinds of lost calls and add different widgets that show different aspects of the same data. So this is a major change. Rino, can you show us again where do you set filters on the whole wallboard, on each view, and on each widget?
Of course. Here on the top right section of the wallboard, you can set the filter for the whole wallboard, and simply clicking the add filters. As already you are familiar with the report section of the QueueMetrics, you can simply add all the filters you need.
The filters are the same, so you are most likely already familiar with what they do and how they behave and how to set remove them. It works the very same way as in reports.
Yes. For example, if I add the filters in, for example, the Q1001, you will see now that if a filter is applied, you have a little icon telling that the filters are applied and how many filters you have for this specific section of filter. For example, this one will tell the whole wallboard filters. We're gonna delete it for now. If you click instead in the view name, you have the possibility to add the view filters in the same way as we already shown. And if already present, you can click on the filter section of the widget, or if not present, you can click on the settings icon in the widget and simply add filters as already shown.
Okay, that's pretty nice. There is also another thing that is interesting that was added to the wallboard. That is the possibility to basically control agents using a point-and-click approach. Correct?
Yes, of course. One of the major problems in the wallboard that was present is that if you wanted to make an agent action, you have to remember the exact agent code of your agent, which is not really pretty common. That now, if you go to the agent action, you have now the list of the agent you want, and if you click one, now you have the already pre-filled the agent code. And also, if you have the data block of live agents, you can simply click on the name of the agent, and the agent action will automatically pop out. And you have also the status. So now, if you the wallboard know the status of the agent and give you a sample of action that you can do based on the agent status. If for some reason this status is not right, or you don't want to do this action, you can go simply in the manual insert as done before, and you can select the agent action that you want to do.
Perfect.
To perform.
So basically, this means that using the wallboard now, both actions on agents and actions on calls are now point and click. So you want to do ChanSpy, click. You want to log off an agent, click. So this means that your life will be easier, and in fact, again, we envision the wallboard substituting totally the old agent page. Of course, maybe the main reason why people use QueueMetrics is historically, and even today, I guess, doing reports. So there is no release without some new new goodies on the reporting side, and this release makes no exception. So the first thing that I want to show you, but I'll let Rino introduce it, because I'm sure everybody will love it.
Yes. One of the most requested features also in the report was to create in a simpler way the export job and the cron job directly within the report before you have to go to the export job section and then create a scheduled job. For this reason, now we have created a simple icon in the settings of the report with a time icon that give you now the possibility to create simply within the report. And it is divided in two sections, one of creation and one that show the export and schedule job already present for this specific report, and give also the information of the last status run and when did it run.
Yes. So,
for example, now we will create a new export job. We're gonna call it live with the description of the cron job. We're gonna have the report type, if you want PDF or XLS, the orientation, landscape or portrait, and when the cron job has to run. In this case, we're gonna be on 5 a.m. If you want to be protected by a visibility key, in this case none, and the mail, for example, I'm gonna put my email. So now if we're gonna say, okay, we know that now the export job has been created, and if you want, you can simply click on the new created export and will redirect to the right section that you can add or modify what you have already done.
Yes, this is pretty cool because the very common scenario where you create a report and say, okay, send this this report I just created is fine, send it to me and to Rino and to Luca at 6 p.m. every day. That is how the majority of people use export jobs, can now be set up in a few seconds, literally. So, of course, if you then go click to the configuration, you can run export jobs in many ways, with different intervals, with different days of the week and such, and you can control it on a finer level. But for the first run, or just to set it up for a daily schedule, this is what most people expect. It just works without doing anything special. The other thing that another important thing that we added to this release for reports is a new kind of filters. So from your point of view, they look like normal filters, like all of the filters that were already in QueueMetrics, kind of the ones that Rino showed you a few seconds ago. There is an important difference, meaning that all of the filters that were present in QueueMetrics up to now are filters that were created to filter off calls. So if when you could set specific rules based on calls, these calls would be excluded, basically filtered off. And if no calls were left in a specific agent session, this agent session would be removed. Now you can do filtering not only on calls, like all of the filters that were there so far, but also you can do filtering on agent sessions. So you can, for example, go look for specific agent sessions that have, for example, longer than so many seconds, or shorter than so many seconds, or that had so much pause time, or that had other characteristics, and only the calls that belong to these specific agent sessions will be left. So this means that you can go in and, for example, find very, very long sessions, so where people forgot to log off, or very, very short sessions, and you can say, okay, I don't care about these, just remove them because I don't want to see them. And this works easily, like all of the filters that we had so far. Oh. Rino, can you show it?
Yes. In the same section, you are already familiar with this, the filters. Now you have a new little section that has the filter session that Lorenzo explained you. For example, we have minute session duration, max session duration, min pause and max pause duration, and also the number of pauses the agent has, and also the extension, the session extension held from the agent in hot desking environment. For example, I'm gonna add a min session duration of 50,000 seconds, and if I'm gonna apply, we can see that the course has changed as already also for the session duration, in this case, in this data block.
Okay, so this is again, this is very powerful. It is, we believe this was something that a number of people have asked. It was not so easy to implement because we had to change the parser quite deeply to do it, but we think it was worth it. Now we have something a bit more light and maybe more fun. That is, we have a couple of changes that are more mundane but still interesting. So the first is the ability to basically change the sizing and the position of charts.
Yeah, so yes, Lorenzo. We add a new feature that now if a data block has a chart, you can simply go in the edit section of the data block, and now you have 2 new drop-down menu that let you select the position of the chart. In this case, I want to put it on the bottom with a size of big size, and if I set OK, immediately will re-render and show the chart in the position you selected. We have a different now position and size, so you have the possibility to select whatever you want.
Yes, to make a report that looks right for you. And another thing that is also related to such reports is the ability to remove in time periods, to remove the time periods that have no calls. Can you show us how
yes.
that works?
For example, we have the data block of answered distribution per hour, and we can see also from the chart that we have many rows where the count is 0, and but
because
now
the problem is simply that the charts are made on a 24-hour basis by default. But if you work 24/7, of course, they will be meaningful. But usually, if you work during, for example, office hours, like many people do, you will get simply no calls at 1 a.m. You know, usually you will get 0 calls at 1 a.m. So the fact is that you're looking at 24 hours where you actually care about 8, 9, 10, 12 hours. So you have a lot of zeros before and after the working day.
Yes, for this reason, now in the settings of the report, we have a new option that is hide empty hours loss. And if I select this, now you have only the meaningful data. So it's more concise
yes.
and on point of what you need.
Exactly. So this is these were the most important changes that went into the reports page. Another very important change that we made, it's not actually a change, but it can be considered as an improvement, is that in this release we worked a lot to improve the support for different kinds of PBXs. And especially there are 3 PBXs that we worked on. One is a FusionPBX that is based on FreeSwitch, and it's a sibling FS PBX that again is based on FreeSwitch and our open source projects. And one is a MiRTA PBX that is a multi-tenant real-time PBX based on Asterisk. That is, we see a lot of interest in this solution, and even if they are different technically, there is one thing that binds them together, and I believe that's where the interest lies, is that all 3 of these solutions are built to be multi-tenant, so you can host a number of customers on the same, with total separation, on the same physical set of servers. Plus, they are built in order to scale out, so you can add more power. If your system gets very big, you can add more power by adding new servers and making having the system grow. These solutions, we see a lot of interest in them. So we decided to do the extra legwork to make everything work as it works on a standard Asterisk system. So all inbound, all outbound, with different kinds of outbound. So you can have automatic outbound. The agent just dials number and this shows up in QueueMetrics. Or managed outbound. So the agent selects a specific outbound queue and this shows up in QueueMetrics. This is what we suggest, because this means that you can keep track of why the call was made and do the billing and keep track of the reason why the call was happening. Plus recordings work, so you can listen to the calls that were made if you have recordings enabled. Plus you can have all the controls, so you can have login and logoffs, poses and poses, feature codes, plus the new features that come with the most recent version of the agent page. This means setting, specifying cases and customers to tag specific calls, having recalls automatic scheduled for some specific point in time, where you just click on the recall and the call is started without relying on a post-it or something like this, and all the control from the point of view of the supervisor. So logging people on, logging people off, pausing and unpausing, overriding the preferences of agents, listening to calls, doing chance spy, everything, all of these things work natively and seamlessly. So this is, I believe, very important because the fact that these systems are multi-tenant plays very well with the fact that QueueMetrics QueueMetrics Live, so the hosted version, is designed to work in a multi-tenancy. So you can decide that you want QueueMetrics deployed for customer A. Customer B doesn't really use queues, so we are not going to deploy this. And customer C, when they want, we can switch it on and switch it off when they don't want it anymore. So the integration was very natural from the point of view of the use case, and so we made a lot of work to make sure that it would work reliably, and now they power some of our biggest customers, maybe. So this is this was a major change, and this major change also plays with the changes that we made for the agent page, because the agent page, if the wallboard is the heart from the point of view of a supervisor, the agent page is where agents are supposed to be working. So there are a number of changes. Rino, can you show us?
Yes, of course. Before, if an agent wanted to see the queue he were logged in, he would have to go to the queue section and see the queues. Now, instead, if he just goes to the his status, now we have a little section that says the queue is logged in and how many queues is currently logged in. Another feature that may be useful to some customer is that in the soft phone now we have the ability to select where to play the ringtone sound, audio sound, and your microphone. These are selected the available devices of your computer PC, and if changed, it will be saved on the device, and every time you log it in again in the agent page will be pre-selected. If the device is not available, it will fall back to the default of your computer.
Yes.
Another feature that has been also asked, and these can be set true or false, you can decide if you want or you don't want, is the auto logout of your agent from the queues when they log out from the agent page. For example, now if I go log out, we see a pop-up message that say you have been logged out of QueueMetrics, of the queue of the asterisk.
Yes, so this is a feature that that was again asked for a number of times in the past, because it is easier likely for agents to just keep track of their status. Of course, if something goes wrong, if the network goes down and such, it is possible that the sessions are not perfectly aligned, but the supervisor page, the wallboard will show the actual state of the system, so the supervisor can always step in and correct things if that's needed. But in the vast majority of cases, it will simply work. So there is not much that you have to do. There is if anybody has questions, we are going to have a question time at the end of this stream. But if you see anything that you want to talk about, just write it on the chat. So it's we are here to answer. There is another thing that is important. The reason why, again, the new agent page was worked on significantly is because at this point the new agent page has all the features and more and way more than the icon page, and the icon page was supposed to be removed from QueueMetrics from this version onwards. It was on the deprecation list. It's been on the deprecation list for a while. We decided to keep it in again for this release, to give people a bit more time to migrate off the icon page. But so it's still available. But when you log in and use the icon page, you will get a warning message. So, Rino, can you show us
Yes.
how that would work?
Now, if I will log in with an agent which has the old agent page, now a warning will pop up, and it will automatically then redirect to the icon agent page.
Yes. To change, to move from the icon page, if you still use it, to the new agent page, is just a matter of changing one basic to approving the change for your agents. So it can be done on an agent by agent basis or all at once, just by removing a specific key on the agent's key ring. You can also have some agents still using the old page and some using the new page. It's up to you. We suggest the point here is that we think it would be a good idea to move off the old icon page that's been a reliable workhorse for the last maybe 10 something more years. But the icon page was designed around the idea that that your CRM page would be embedded, so you could basically have information pop over on top of it when you just need to use the QueueMetrics features and then remove them when you don't need them anymore. But unfortunately, this was the same idea that a number of people used to do scams, and because if you can control the browser where that shows the website for your bank and put something on top of it, you could have something that looks like your bank, but your data goes somewhere else. So most browsers and most websites actually disable this behavior by default, and so the icon page that was built around that was perfect for us, but it makes no sense anymore on the modern internet. That's why we had to migrate to a different design. And this is a process that's been ongoing for a few years, but now it's time to move over. I see that there is a question from Luke. Is there a way to deactivate the kind of message? Not at the moment, because we want people to be aware of this. In fact, you can speed over just by clicking. It will go over. But the idea is that it must be you really need to migrate. And if you don't want to migrate, you need to be aware of of the fact that this is something that needs doing. We also have one last set of changes that were a bit hidden behind the scenes in QueueMetrics. That are the first is that now we have support for Rocky 10, that is as the operating system. We support RPM installation on systems derived from Red Hat 10. So this means it works with CentOS, it works with Rocky, Alma, and a number of other distributions. We do not explicitly support CentOS 7 and the derived system, because the systems are out of their supported life, so they are risky to run in production. We still have the ability to update these CentOS based systems to the new version. So we have an FAQ out on how to run this, both for CentOS systems and for Rocky 10 systems, and you can basically, there is an FAQ that explains, but it's very easy. Of course, you can install QueueMetrics on nearly any operating system nowadays by using Docker. So this is usually the easiest option, or just run the hosted version. That is just as easy. The last technical change that is behind the scenes is that this version explicitly supports InnoDB as storage. So new systems that are created with the new install will have the database using the engine InnoDB, while older systems will stay on MyISM. What is the difference? The difference is that InnoDB is newer, is more recent. I mean, it's been around for like 20 years. It was designed as a replacement of the old storage that we use. But up to a few years ago, it was not as performant, so we prefer not to go there, and it was not as well battle tested. Nowadays, we think it's time to move over. It's for existing systems and nothing changes. Maybe there will be an update path in the future. For new systems, there are two important changes that are meaningful. The first is that such systems are way more resilient. So in case there is a crash on the disk, they are supposed to recover very quickly without losing any data, and because they are designed around this problem. The second advantage is that it is possible to do backups of very large systems quickly at a point in time. So it's because it is able to just save the deltas, the differences from the previous database, and this is something that is done at the storage level. So it's very safe. And the third thing is that InnoDB databases can be easily scaled out on highly available systems using things that are very well known and easy to operate, like Galero cluster, that basically take your single MySQL database and share it across 3 servers, and this means that if one of them fails, the system still works, and if 2 of them fails, you still do not lose data. So it's quite a significant advantage if you want high availability. This is basically everything for today. I see that we have a question from Loki that asks, do I need to create a new wallboard for the filters if you have the hosted QueueMetrics? Rino, what do you think?
No, absolutely. If you have already some wallboards, you can simply have the possibility to add filters without creating anything new. You just, it's plug and play. You just open the wallboard you prefer and add the filters as you wish.
Okay. About the hosted version, we are going to deploy the new version. We start deploying the new version more or less from the beginning of February on QueueMetrics Live. So if you run live, there is nothing you have to do. You will just find the system updated. But as you saw, the process, as it usually is, the process will be smooth, and you should expect no issues at all. So we work hard to make it sure that you have no downtime and everything basically just works. Are there any other questions? Rino, anything else you want to say?
No, not really. Of course, if you have any question or you have some problem, you can simply write us, and we will be we will answer you.
Okay, of course. For existing customers, if you have a licensed QueueMetrics system, you can update with no cost, so your keys already cover all of the new feature and everything else. You just need to basically update the software using the way it was installed. If you don't feel like doing it on your own, we have a support services team that will be happy to help you during the migration. So I think that's basically everything. If any other questions or want to or have any doubts or encounter any issues or whatever, you send us an email to our support team and they will be very happy to assist you. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
It was a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.